Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review of One World Under Doom, Issue 9, 2025. Ooh, that is a crazy-ass looking cover there. Doom is not in a good spot. We don't have this exactly going on, but Doom pretty much defeated himself. So, we saw that Valeria pretty much got killed at the end of the last one, so let's see how Doom deals with this. I place you under my royal protection, little Valeria. If anyone is ever foolish enough to strike at you, they will deal with me. This is a love story. It's about a great king who never allowed anyone to touch his heart. Here in Latveria Richards, Doom demands that children always get a good night's sleep. Hi, Mom. We're like, yeah. And his goddaughter, who claimed it so easily, so gracefully, that he never once noticed it happening. Finish up here, child. Can we have ice cream later? Doom will consider your request. Normally Doom would be like, I don't give a shit. But he's like, nope. We'll see. The great king protected his goddaughter. He cared for her and taught her things her parents could not. Does your father know you are here, young lady? Actually, he's why I'm here. And what has he done now? Across the entire cosmos, she was the only one who was to him special. You must promise me, child. You must stay free from harm. I promise, Uncle Doom. And across the entire cosmos, he was the only one who was to her special too. And that's a cute little thing there. However, Doom does stupid fucking shit. And of course, we get this crazy 2-page that shows that kind of going gnarly. It's like, no, Valeria, no. And when his goddaughter died, the great king's heart, which he had never allowed anyone to touch, broke forever. See, there's always something important to people, even if they try and say that they don't have that. And it's like, oh god. So we're like, her head pretty much fell off, and I do like that the main two focus is Doom and Valeria. So let's see here. I'm too old for fairy tales. I know, but stories have power, and at present, stories, Valeria, are the only thing holding your body and soul together. I see. What happened next? It's like, okay, that's an interesting framing, and seeing all the white space and everything, and Doom in his green. The great king did what he could, but he could not save her. He could not change the past. Doom does not permit this, little one. Do you hear me? As he's pretty much stuffing her back together as best as he can. Doom does not permit it. In fact, he could not change anything. Her body was rotting and her soul was gone. And of course we see him having kind of like a bubble shield, Reed and Sue trying to get to her. It's just like, it's kind of crazy that, like, I mean, Doom of course does crazy kind of shit, but he loves Valeria. Even, I know it's a weird kind of thing, but it's kind of like his Achilles heel at this point, and this issue really kind of shows that of like, holy fucking shit, the main way to kind of get his ass is this. But the main thing was that he pretty much got his own ass, so yeah. And so the great king voyaged to places mortals were never meant to go. He breached the home and refuge of the gods who called themselves the Vishanti. They had extraordinary powers over life and death. They could choose, if they wanted, to fix a mistake. But these beings, tremendous and powerful, spoke only of duty and of consequences. They refused to hear what the king was saying, and so the great king forced them to listen. And it's just like, you fucking didn't really do your duty very well. And you fucking did this yourself. And it's like, what the fuck? So, normally the Vishanti are kind of stupid on a lot of kind of shit and ask you to do shit that's like way outside of your purview. And then even if you accomplish it and you get like thunderfucked, like Strange, they're like, fuck you, man. It's like, really? And so Doom kind of cracking ass. I'm kind of like, yeah, because they're dick shits. But it's like, alright, let's see how this kind of goes for you. I really love the fucking use of green here. The art just fucking blasts it. The king had used all his earthly magic, but here among the Vishanti there were different rules, different magics. Here there was magic powered by emotion. Will heed! And the great king had an infinite supply of that. The words of Doom, as he's pretty much shouting at them, and I kind of like that kind of going on there. But of course they're like, no. But still the Vishanti would not listen, nor heed, nor obey. So the great king sought better gods, stronger gods. That never works out, but we'll see. He traveled through yawning voids, through rooms white hot, until on a far and distant shore the great king finally arrived before the strongest god there was. And for the first time in his life, who dares disturb us? Who dares disturb the living tribunal? And it's like, Okay, I thought he was going for the one above all or whatnot, but Living Tribunal, it's still there. And that is just great. I love the use of color, man. Doom dares Tribunal. This is Valeria Richards, and she has died, and I require it to be otherwise. I will offer you anything you desire. The Great King bargain, which this is pretty rare. I mean, Doom normally like prides himself above all else, but in this he is humbled and is like, I will give anything. Bargaining carries terrible costs, but one cannot bargain without anything to offer, and you, Doom, have nothing. No. If one seeks justice, Tribunal, then one always has something to offer. A more just universe. Perhaps, Victor. But you do not seek justice. You seek the assuagement of guilt, and not to suffer. Yes. I desire those things, as all who live do, but today I seek more. On this occasion, Tribunal, Doom will hide nothing from you. Just this once, Doom demands to be fully seen. And I really love how it's small paneling here and then seeing the Living Tribunal looking at his ass like, what the fuck? And it's crazy seeing the Living Tribunal actually look at him. It's like, oh, damn. And so the Tribunal, who could destroy the Great King with less than a thought, looked into his soul. In that devastating torrent, the Tribunal saw what they expected to see. The rage, the guilt, the regret, the wild ambition wildly achieved. But they also saw something they'd never seen in the Great King before. The Living Tribunal saw love. They saw that the king had truly come not for himself, but for his goddaughter. To love someone is to put their well-being above your own. And the Tribunal knew that to see such a thing in such a thing was unexpected and meritorious. It's like, yep, have a very strong point there. And thus, just this once, the Living Tribunal granted the Great King his desire. You are going to live, Valeria. You are going to live. No, Uncle. You told me everything has a cost. And the Tribunal must have extracted some terrible... There is a cost. Of course there is. And I will pay it. Here, at least, I give Doom his due on this. He pays the cost. He doesn't wiggle out of it. He pays the cost. You've lost the title of Sorcerer Supreme. I can see that, but there's got to be more. Please, Uncle Doom, tell me what this cost. Your soul will go back where it belongs, and your body will be restored. What it costs is irrelevant. You will return to Latveria, and Doom, only Doom, will deal with the consequences. It's like, all right, ooh, and nice stapling, no loose pages, and this is $4.99, so it's not extra pricing. For like sometimes you do an extra one on the beginning and sometimes at the end issue. And then we see Valeria pop out like, holy fucking shit. It's like, yeah, you're alive now. Oh my god, Valeria, you're okay? I am. What happened? How did you, what did he did what he promised he'd do. To all of us, Dad. Right at the start of this, Doom saved me. Okay. Yes, he did. But he's also the one that killed your ass. So... kind of like when Sue was talking about in the Fantastic Four issue, I do give certain people credit when they clean up their own mess. But also to remember that they are the one that fucked themselves in the first place with it. It's like, yeah. So then we get to people pretty much talking heads figuring what's going on now. Continues to feel the effects of Doom's shocking disappearance and apparent abdication of his global throne. Claiming victory, the world's heroes moved quickly to America claims second independence. Pre-recorded message, Doom released a cure for vampirism, but regretted still greater miracles could only be achieved if you were again restored to power. Only Doom could save you, he said, and only Doom will save you once more. Australia freed from Doom. Borders have been closed as world leaders claiming they were influenced by some form of Doom mind control try to unwind his influence. The Avengers, of course, have been silent as to whether this was actually Threats and Menaces is back on the air. It's like, okay, that's going to create some problems. Interestingly enough, kind of echoing stuff that was going on in Endgame, so we'll have to see what goes on there. Claiming refugee status. However, with the Department of Immigration retroactively invalidating any citizenships issued during Doom's rule, hundreds of thousands of lives have been thrown into chaos. Pleas for mercy from stateless former citizens. Yeah, you'd actually have to work together to actually fucking deal with that. Doing the goddamn fucking adult thing instead of being like, fuck them people. No. Further explosions in the capital. If you're just joining us, supporters of the deposed emperor again confronted military police, and violence continues in cities around the world. Yeah, because he'd still have his fucking supporters. Then we get to talking to people on the street. These heroes robbed the world of Doom. That's all. He actually did that himself, but alright. Couldn't understand he was actually getting things done. They rejected the gift of Doom, but they had no right to do that for us. They had no right. They can attack the man, but his ideas are out there and they're not going anywhere. Alright. But we'll see if you actually do anything with those ideas. United Latveria. Ha! The heroes saved us from that preening fool. We're free again, and we never needed Doom to tell us what to do. And I'll say this much. If any Latvian is stupid enough to cross my path, I'm gonna... Sorry, I don't really follow politics. It's like, okay. Doom spun up the world as this... Doom spun giving up the world as this noble act, when really it was just him looking out for himself, being all, you can't fire me, I quit. He lost, get over it. Yeah. The heroes didn't beat him. Doom gave up his world to save a single soul, his goddaughter. He's a real hero, the best of us. And he will be back, he will come back to save us, and fuck anyone who says otherwise. It's like, alright, it's already going into religion status. It's like, okay. Later. And then we get this interesting bit. Now, I really like this issue. However, we're going to get to a point, and it's mainly in regards to artistic choices of how to actually see what the fuck the thing's going on for. So, here we go. So we got Reed doing his shit. Krakoom, yeah. Freedom is returning to the world, you know. Old democracies are being restored. And old dictatorships, too. And old borders. Old inequality, old suffering, old lies, old hate. Yep. An interesting concept of freedom you have, Richards. We're in a worse place than we were before you. Coups, instability, expulsions, and the gulf between those who still support you and those who don't is being filled with violence and terrorism. The way you left our world, Victor, it has scars. And I'm like yeah. And he probably would have picked a better kind of way, but we'll see. You should know that Latveria without you is, tell me, are you enjoying it, the fruits of your labor? As he's actually kind of handing shit to him and kind of helping him do whatever he's doing. I will say this. There was perhaps never another man more gifted and better suited to be a great and benevolent leader, if he chose to be, than Victor Von Doom. That's a big thing for Richards to admit. But instead of helping people, you helped yourself. You made fascism appealing, even attractive. You sold it to good people as a reasonable option, and it destroyed all it touched, including you, Victor. You sacrificed your own citizens to prop up a hollow promise of peace and prosperity, and when you were revealed, you demanded still more sacrifice, more suffering, just to keep yourself in power. And you've left our world a far worse place than you found it. Yes. No. I've realized the dreams of Sargon and of Alexander and Augustus and Osman in ways they never could. That's what everybody who thinks that they're a great man says. My only fault was to take over a world that had you and your ilk in it. I've learned that any plan for world liberation and domination... Correction, Richards. Yeah. Liberation, Richards, is destined to fail unless the initial step of this plan is to destroy you self-proclaimed heroes first. Thus, I have not lost. I have merely postponed. As we see shit kind of like going gnarly doo-dah. I'm like, alright. You can't be. But I did not come here to discuss philosophy. I came to make a demand of you. The answer is no. It was not a request. Richards, I'm dying. And we see that kind of like going on. It's like, that's really good art. That's not the problem I have. We're going to get to that. Ooh, really kind of cool paneling and page layouts here. I like the use of black and green and everything. I won't save you, Victor. What you've done, I don't know how to forgive you. I won't save you. I need you to understand that. Of course not. You're as incapable of saving Doom, Richards, as you are defeating him. That is not what I demand. Whatever you're asking, the answer is still no. You've got some trick, some scheme, and I traded my life for hers, along with my titles and my planet and my soul. She is well, Valeria? She is. And it was worth it. You wouldn't do it selflessly. You've got some plan, some silence. I will not spend my last moments here enduring your vain, facile, endless, effete objections. But Richards... It's like... Yeah, I don't blame him for being like, there's got to be some scheme, but there are always schemes. Take good care of my world, as we see him disintegrate and his mask fall down. Now this is really kind of cool. But then we get here, because we had seen this whole thing with like Doom's mask, and then he looks at it, and of course this gives the will and testament of Doom, which I think I can actually read better through my fucking camera than actually on the page. Being like the final will and testament of Doom, hereby blah blah blah. It's like, oh shit. And of course, Richards is like, fuck. And of course, there's going to be the will of Doom, which I do have on order to see what's kind of going on. Oh. And here we go with a little tease at the end. Lot Kill, New York, USA. Ah, at last, there's so little of you left, just the higher parts. Echoes on the astral plane so faint you're not sure anyone can hear. But I can, by the winds of destiny. You are rescued, though not without cost. Through the last store sacrifice, I summon you both to physical form. Eye of Agamotto, Cloak of Levitation. Great icons of the Sorcerer Supreme, welcome back. My name is Wanda. Shall we start some trouble? And I really... Okay, Doom has got, like, the green and everything. Now, I'm partial to red, and I'm like, Scarlet Witch? Okay. This was a good one to, like, show off her getting ready to be the Sorcerer Supreme, having the Cloak of Levitation, and the Eye of Agamotto, and looking at that kind of stuff with, like, what is kind of, like, put on for her. I'm like... Yeah. So, I liked that this is a kind of epilogue one. We got the big kind of thing, and we get Doom's whole thing of attempting to save Valeria. I do think it's interesting that he attempted to entreat with the Vishanti and then like, eat shit, motherfucker. You had like duties and shit and you kind of fucking did them, but you kind of fucking didn't. I mean, you took Spidey and fucking made him go and fight Sidorak, you goddamn asshole. I mean, they didn't say that in the comic, but I mean, it's like, yeah, no, and he's doing everything he can to get Valeria back. It was interesting that the Living Tribunal looked into him and to see that he did have love. I could understand why people would be like more that like Victor probably doesn't love anybody, but with what they've built up with the relationship between him and Valeria over the years, even though I've been not as acquainted completely, but have with the last couple of years of actually going into these events and the understanding of the relationship through the Fantastic Four series, if anyone would kind of put Victor in this position where he would willingly give himself up, it would be Valeria. And I think the reverse would be true as well if Valeria was able to have that kind of power and him being able to get her back and it quieting down, but then also showing the chaos and everything that's still kind of going on. And this, I think, will also lead into what's going on with the Armageddon against the heroes as it's being built up as this Avengers Disassembled kind of event. We've got people dealing with like the whole borders and issues of what's kind of going on with citizenship and all that, which is interesting, which kind of links up with what we had seen in Endgame, and I wish they had kind of like explored that more in the MCU. So hopefully we'll see more of that kind of going on here, and him pretty much telling Richards to protect the world and then showcasing his will and testament written in his mask, which I liked it written in his mask, but I wish it had been done in a way that I could actually fucking see it better. Even though it really doesn't go as much in depth as like I'm missing anything, I'm just like, what the shit? And I am looking forward to seeing what the Will of Doom kind of brings us into, even though that seems like another kind of end bit, like another epilogue kind of thing. But I like this event. I like seeing Doom do his thing and what that kind of put into the world and exploring it happening here and pretty much its parallels of what's happening in the real world. I think that they did a pretty good job with that, and of course bringing in and working around with the Fantastic Four and the rest of the heroes. Now, since Doom is the main kind of focus and this is his death, of course it focuses more on the Fantastic Four characters. So if you're looking for other characters and their kind of rationales and kind of reactions to this, you're going to be disappointed, and I say that the disappointment is valid. However, I think the objective was more to deal with the core of Doom and the Fantastic Four more than the rest of everything else kind of going on, which we'll probably see other kind of fallout kind of things in each kind of series or whatnot. We are seeing that in Captain America as it's kind of focusing on him dealing with Doom in his initial stages, and then we're going to shift into dealing with it at Latveria and everything like that. So I'm looking forward to seeing that ripple throughout the Marvel Universe, but then building into what's going on later. So those are my opinions on the issue. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.